climbing the Blue Ridge Mountains to get up to Thornton Gap on US 211. I'm at the Stony Man Overlook in Shenandoah National Park. The elevation here is 3,100 feet. You're looking to the west. That mountain range off in the distance is the Massanutten Mountain Range, and we're in the Blue Ridge. This is called Stony Man Overlook because right there is Stony Man Mountain. If you look at it just right, right-hand side of the slope there, you can sort of make out the man's face looking up at about a 45-degree angle. You see his nose, his eyes, and his beard. Looking to the west. There's my car parked there. And I'm going to go north on Skyline Drive a couple tenths of a mile till I get over to that ridge line and hike a trail called Crusher Ridge all the way down the west side of the mountain into the valley. So here we go. Well, this looks like the trail here. It's not marked except with that blue blazing. Here's Skyline Drive. I've been walking up Skyline Drive, maybe a tenth of a mile. But this is in the general correct direction, so I'm going up this way and see what we can find. This is just a few hundred feet up that blue blaze from Skyline Drive. There's a signpost. I'm going to go to the left because it says that's the to the Appalachian Trail, 200 yards this way. So let's go this way and see what we can find. Okay, well, 200 yards later, here's the marker post for the Appalachian Trail. And it doesn't say anything about Crusher Ridge, but I'm going to head north on the Appalachian Trail this way because the ridge line looks like it's up there. So that's where Crusher Ridge Trail should be. So let's go up this way until we get up to the ridge line and see if we can find a trail to go down the ridge line on. Alrighty, I finally found the signpost for the Crusher Ridge Trail. There's the Appalachian Trail where I just came from that way. And here's the signpost. And we're gonna go up this way up to the very tippy top of the ridge line, and then we're gonna follow this down, oh, I don't know, maybe 3 miles or so. I think it's about a 6-mile round trip hike. When we get to the bottom, I'm expecting to find a couple of Potomac Appalachian Trail Club cabins that are for rent at the bottom of the mountain. So this is a combination recon hike to see what those cabins look like, and also it's a nice day here today. It's about maybe, I don't know, 45-50 degrees with the sun, and the weather's been so bad this spring. This is only my second hike this year, and it's like the 2nd of April. So here we go on Crusher Ridge Trail. Not exactly sure what that is, what that white thing is up on that pole, but I'm assuming it's some sort of weather station. This is sort of at the peak of the hike. Let's see, the elevation here is, hold on, I gotta switch hands. The elevation here is about 3190. Here's a look back to the east. There's that weather station, and right up there's the trail. So I'm going to keep on heading down the side of the mountain. Now, according to my GPS, I just got onto the steep part of the trail. So from here down to the bottom, it's pretty steep. This looks like an old road, old abandoned road. Now they call it Crusher Ridge Trail. But you can see it's really wide, way too wide to be just a foot trail. And hopefully here in a little while we'll be able to catch a view to the west into the Shenandoah Valley. Actually, if you look over there, you can see it down that way. That's looking down towards the down into the Shenandoah Valley, Luray, Virginia area. So if I get some better pictures along the way, I'll take them for you. I'm still pretty high on Crusher Ridge, heading down the west side of the mountain. But over there, where that lake is, that's where we're headed. We're going in the wrong direction at the moment, but this trail has switchbacks back and forth. So eventually we're going to end up down close to that lake, and that's where I'm expecting to find those cabins. Not on the lake, but between the lake and the base of the mountains. Wanted to stop and show you this stuff. This moss is the coolest stuff. It feels like the world's most expensive carpet. When you step on it, it's just as soft and spongy as can be. I don't know what kind of moss it is, but it is all over the place up here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. When the mountain laurel, you see there the green stuff, when it comes into bloom, this will be a real nice trail to hike. I'm 2 miles into my hike, and I'm down to about 2,100 feet. Still heading down the side of the mountain. And way up along those ridges there is where we came from. So we've lost some elevation. We got to lose some more before we get down to the park boundary. Two and a half miles into my hike now. I'm down to 1,760 feet. And that's where I came from. And you can see the mountain's starting to flatten out now. See this wide area here? That's the beginnings of a stream. Got to keep going down this way though. I'm still not at the park boundary. I'm 2.75 miles into my hike. I'm down to 1,660 feet. And Crusher Ridge keeps going that way, but you can see that chain across the road there. And there's a concrete signpost there that's telling me, and also the signs on the trees are telling me we want to go to the left here to get down to the Tulip Tree Cabin, which is one of the cabins I wanted to check out. So we're going to take a left here and go down to Tulip Tree Cabin, and I think there's another cabin maybe even past that one. So let's see what we can find. Here's the turnoff that I showed you to come down to this Tulip Tree Cabin, and that sign right there, that yellow sign on the tree, says private property. So I guess we are at the park boundary. So to the right is private property and the left is national park. Oh, there's some red blazing on the trees there. They usually put that at the park boundary. So the left side of this trail is a national park and the right hand side is private property. We're going to keep on going down this trail for a ways until we find this cabin. Okay, I'm 3.1 miles into my hike. I'm down to 1,550 feet, and this is the Tulip Tree Cabin. Nice looking place. This is was built and maintained, and is maintained by the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. You can rent this out. So let's take a look around. It's at the base of the mountain. That's looking back towards the mountains. There's this pavilion area. Let me back up a little bit. There's a pavilion area here with like an open fireplace there, picnic area. Pretty nice. And then not quite sure how you get in here. Maybe that way. I think there's a probably an old dirt road that you can park your car at, because I think it's about 2 or 3/10 of a mile hike in from the bottom. It's 3 miles from the top. And then going that way, I see a couple of metal cans in the ground. There's an ash pit. And then beyond there, there's a sign that says a privy is beyond there. So we'll go check that out up here eventually. And then going back that way, you can see there's a stone wall. piece of a stone wall, and the trail I came down on. And that trail looks like it goes on back in a little different direction. That might be the way to get back to the other cabin. I'll check that out in a little while. But heck, I might just sit right here at this picnic table and eat my lunch since nobody's here. Well, I walked right past the spring and ended up way down there at another cabin. I'm not sure if that's a private property or whether it's another PATC cabin, but anyway, this is the spring right here. It's just a dugout area with some rocks piled up there. So when you come from Tulip Tree, you'll see all this blue blazing. You just come down here, but you got to be careful. When you get to this little stream, look to the left, and you'll see the spring right there. This little stream here is coming down, and then here's the trail. I'm going to head on back up to Tulip Tree and park myself and eat some lunch. So I'm sitting at the pavilion area. I'm going to eat my lunch here. It's almost noon. There's today's exciting cuisine. We have a Star-Kissed tuna creations, sweet and spicy. Titanium spork that I'm going to scoop it out with and put it on these tortillas. Got a Nature Valley crunchy dark chocolate and peanut butter bar, and the always popular Keebler cheese and peanut butter crackers. Wash it down with some water, bottled water. Finished up my lunch. Let's take one last look here at Tulip Tree Cabin. I think my brother John and I might want to rent this one out. This is nice. If you go, there's a little trail behind this cabin down the hill. A few hundred yards takes you to the spring. And if you continue on down that trail, it gets kind of rough looking, but eventually you get down to where you can see another cabin with a green tin roof like this one. But I didn't get too close to that one. I think it might be Lambert, which is another one of these PATC cabins, but it actually had an address, a street address, so I was afraid to get too close to it. While I was down there, on my way back up, I noticed a new sign they posted warning about mountain lions. And don't hike alone, etc., etc., which is, of course, what I'm doing today, hiking by myself. So, I don't know. I'll have to keep my eye open for mountain lions. There's lots and lots of warnings in the park about bears and what to do about bears. But that's the first sign I've seen about mountain lions. But anyway, that's why they make Walther PPKs, just in case. Okay, there you go. There's your standard government issue pit privy. Down there's the cabin and the pavilion. It's not even locked up. Let's see what's inside. Hope nobody's in there. Hello? Anybody in there? Toilet paper, newspaper, from the looks of the white powder, I'd say that's lime inside that box. And it's a one-holer. Look at that. Beautiful. They even got a nail up there to hang your... oh, look at this. You even got a hook up there to hang your coat on when you come out here when it's 20 degrees. Wonderful. Okay, well, let's head on back down to the cabin, and I'm going to strap on my pack, and I'm going to have to head back up the side of the mountain. It's a long ways back up to the top. Well, I ate my lunch for saying goodbye here to Tulip Tree Cabin. There's also a spot right there where you can build an outside fire and sit around a open fire if you want to. I'm at 1,600 feet, and I got to climb up way up to those peaks up there, which are around 3,200 feet. So I got to climb 1,600 feet. That's going to take me a while to do, so let's get started back up the trail. We're 4 miles into the hike now. I'm climbing the mountain. I'm up to 1,740 feet, and here's the trail right here. Old road, Crusher Ridge. But we got to get all the way up along that ridge line there. Skyline Drive's way up there. Whew. Maybe somebody could turn down gravity for the next couple hours. That'd be sweet. .3 miles into my hike. I'm up to 1,885 feet elevation. Whoo-wee, I'm taking a break. This big tree was blocking the trail, but the Park Service cut it in half, I guess. Here's where I came from. You take a look around. Mountains wherever you look now. We're going up that way. So I'm gonna sit here a few more minutes, catch my breath, and then head on up the mountain some more. I'm sitting on another log. 4.8 miles into the hike. I'm up to 2236 now. Gotta keep going up that way. We're actually heading way up there. It's another 1,000 feet to the top. I'm at 22. I gotta get up to 32. So it's another 100-story high building to climb. Here, take a look around. It's a nice day though. It's probably about 60 degrees with hardly any wind. It's very, very nice. I haven't come across a single soul. But after I saw that new sign warning about mountain lions, I've been keeping my eyes out for them. They're pretty stealthy though. They don't make a lot of noise like bears do. So anyway, I'm going to rest here a little longer, drink some water, and keep heading up that trail. I almost stepped on those snakes. They're not rattlers, but they're pretty hard to see in the leaves like that. And there's two of them there intertwined. There's a large one and a smaller one. So maybe the small one's a baby that hatched out. Anyway, hope you can see them there. I'm going to go around them. Taking another break. I'm 5.6 miles into my hike. I'm up to 27 now, going to 3,200 and something. About 500 more vertical feet to climb. Down there's the lake. You can just see a little bit of the lake where we came from. And it's warm enough now that the gnats are bugging the heck out of me. Should have brought some bug spray. And we're going to continue on up the trail this way. Six miles into the hike now, and I'm up to 3,000 feet. There's a Stony Man over there, the silhouette of Stony Man Mountain. That's looking into the valley towards Luray, Virginia, and down there's that lake where we came from. There's a trail coming up the side of the mountain. And here's a switchback, and we're going to continue on up this way. Got another 200 feet of elevation to climb. .4 miles into my hike, and I'm finally at the summit, 3,200 feet. So from here to my car is about a half a mile hike, mostly downhill from here. Here, take a look around. Here's there's the actual summit. Stony Man's behind you there. That's the way to my car. See ridge line, Skyline Drive's up there. Here's where I came from. It's been a long hike up the side of the mountain. I'm going to catch my breath and then finish the hike back down to Stony Man Overlook where my car's parked. I'm back to my car now, 6.72 miles. The elevation here at Stony Ridge Overlook is 3,100 feet. There's the pond where we came from. There's Crusher Ridge coming up here. There's Skyline Drive. There's my red car. There's Stony Man Overlook, and there's Stony Man Mountain back there in the background. So it's been a nice hike. If you like solitude, it's a great hike. There aren't a whole lot of views, but I didn't run into anybody else the entire day. Here's a map of today's hike. It's 2 quadrangles taped together. This lower section is Old Rag, 1994, up to here, this line here. And then above that, the quadrangle name changes to Thornton Gap, 1994. We got 12 degrees of western declination for magnetic compasses. And if you're using a GPS, you want to set your datum reference to NAD 27. This is Skyline Drive coming down through here, this red. And where I circled it right here, this is the Stony Man Overlook. That's where I parked my car. And then from there, I hiked up here just a little ways, got on the Appalachian Trail, and followed the Appalachian Trail northbound until I found the intersection with Crusher Ridge Trail right here. And then we follow Crusher Ridge all the way down the side of the mountain. It's about 3.5 miles. All the way down this way. Right here to the park boundary. Now I'm not so sure this map's up to date, being from 1994 now. When you get to the park boundary, then we take a left on a trail that's not really marked here, and we follow the trail down and came in on the left side here to this first cabin, which is Tulip Tree Cabin. And then the spring is down here just a little bit further down the hill. And then if you continue even further, you come down here and you'll see the second cabin, which is called Lambert. So that was the hike. Then I came back up to Tulip Tree Cabin, ate my lunch, and then the long climb. It's about 3.5 miles back up the hill here, all the way up the side of the mountain. And then instead of taking the AT, I just followed this trail all the way right here to Skyline Drive and then just walked back to my car. So that was the hike for today.